Welcome back to the agency. This is Detective Chase Clay, closing the case of Resident Evil 4, other remake. It has been so long, and a lot of that is attributed to the way that the format of the videos were. That was, half an hour episodes at the start, then moving that up to an hour to get some traction going on. But we made it to 29 episodes, 30 technically, which I'll explain in a minute. But if you don't know already what this case closed episode is, it's a summary of what happened in the last final episode, and then a whole just closing it, wrapping it up in a nice little bow and putting an end to it. A nice little conclusion, if you will. So let's get on with it, really. I'm just gonna... There's one thing I noticed when you open up Resident Evil. Again, the unlock costumes for Leon, which I'm going to wear when professional mode when I do that. But, so we're going to talk about the summary of last episode, then I'll talk about the mercenaries and then next plans to go. So previously, a lot of notes here to go through. So we saw Ada tied up with her hands behind her head, an obvious trap set up by Sadler, but Leon went for her rescue anyways because, he has to. It's the good guy thing to do. He did that, and lo and behold, Sadler himself appeared in a swarm of bugs, choking Leon, but Ada, again, fantastic superhero she is, she kicked Sadler in the ass, or the back of the head actually, with a Spider-Man swing kick, and that essentially begun a boss fight that was epic. All of the boss fights have been epic in Resident Evil. I think my favourite was Krauser, but just keep that between me and you. And once we did that, we put an end to Sadler because we put an end to Sadler. Then he came back as a nasty, twisted amalgamation of flesh and skin and teeth and eyes and tentacles. But again, with Ada's support, she threw us a rocket launcher. We blasted the little womb-looking cocoon thing he was in, and then essentially we killed him with his own weapon, actually. The staff that he holds, we used the pointy end of that to stab him in his big ugly eye. And so that was the end of that. We fell back and we was about to grab the little vial of amber. However, Ada took that and Leon was disappointed, but it is what it is. She took off in a helicopter with the amber, but gave us a key with a cute little bear on it. That's where we had to escape the island because it was about to blow up. We had like I think a 2-minute timer before the whole thing went away. We did that, and the key was to a jet ski, which was an amazing way to exit. Classic like action movie style, running away from the explosion. But we also saw that all of the unseen, the villagers, the scorpion things, the bugs, they were all just spasming out on the floor because they didn't have that control of the hive mind, which was Sadler. You break the root and the plant withers. That's essentially what was happening. So we did that, got Ashley out of there. The whole island blew up, the whole factory and everything. And it was a nice little touching moment of them riding off into the sunset. God knows where, because with a limited tank of fuel for the jet ski, they were like heading out into the ocean, so I'm wondering where they went off to. Probably back to the mainland rural Spain, but we got there in a speedboat and they came back in a jet ski, so imagine if they got stranded halfway through the sea, like, well, this is it. And that was the end of that. A couple of credits rolled, and we saw a post-credit scene of Ada talking to, what's his name? Albert Wesker, who I believe is a big antagonist. Don't quote me, because I haven't played any of the other Resident Evils, or the Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, 4, or 3. We've just played 4. And I think he has some connection with the Umbrella Corporation. Anyways, he was having a conversation with Ada, who we found out that he was the recipient who Ada was going to give the amber to. He talked about not millions, but billions of people being sacrificed, and thank goodness, upon hearing this, Ada's like, yeah, I don't think so. Put a gun to the helicopter pilot's head, and she said, we're going somewhere else. Not sure where that is. Maybe some of you who are deeper into the lore of it, maybe she has a base, she has friends, she has someone else to give this amber to or to take care of, but she went in a different direction. more credits rolled, and there was a tiny scene at the end with... It was just Hunnigan taking her glasses off, and on the screen was Ashley and Leon, and some kind of map. I could recognize like shapes of houses on it or something. Maybe it was just this village in front of us. Nothing too deep to look into, but who knows. And I got a B for a score, so that was great. So that's the recap done. Now, what's going to happen next? So it's essentially going to be that I am going to be, you know, creating clips of all of... I have so many clips to make from all the videos. Like, my storage is almost full with just the recordings of all of this. So I'm going to make clips of those. I also want to try out this Mercenaries mode. I didn't want to add it to this case closed because I thought I'd keep it separate, because some people may just want to see Mercenaries, some people may be interested in this summary. I thought I'd keep them apart so it makes sense. But the Mercenaries is, I believe it's just a wave-based game mode, so it's a bit of fun to have a bit of a way to kind of ease it down and chill. Technically, if we don't count this as a numbered episode, but a case closed episode, technically the Mercenaries will be episode 30, so we'll have a nice even number as well. That helps out my weird ass OCD, but we'll try the Mercenaries out, and hey, maybe who will get a really good high score, because there's leaderboard stuff you can do with that as well. And then, I've said this countless times in this series playthrough and in previous ones, there is a list of games to stream that's coming up, and perhaps after the next case, I think would be a good idea to start the streaming thing. I think it's been a decent amount of time. I'll have to look at the dates, but this is going to be included in it, and what the streams are going to be for is it's going to be doing the most hardest difficulty on the previous cases I've gone through, like Outlast, Dead Space. Call of the Sea doesn't count because it's just a puzzle game. And this, I definitely want to get around to doing professional mode on this, because you get more weapons apparently from the merchant, and it's a whole lot more difficult, which probably will provide for some interesting and entertaining stuff to watch as well, except for me crying inside in anger and just being upset at, because you have to do like perfect parrying, and I'm sure enemies hurt more as well. You probably do less... I'm not sure if you do less damage, that would be kind of sucky, but enemies will probably hurt more. And it's going to be fun in fights like the Krauser fight when you're doing the knife attacks and you have to do the perfect parries. And then I'm going to be doing the next case, which I still haven't decided yet, but you'll get an update, whether that's on, you know, YouTube community posts or the Discord server. Speaking of which, I always say this at the end of the beginning and end. I always say this at the beginning and end of every case. You know, like the videos if you enjoyed them, of course. Comment and share your thoughts always, because I love reading them all, even if it's the silliest thing or an actual, like, lore-based, intricate, detailed thing. Hopefully no spoilers, but I can't avoid it because I read the comments anyways. So just, I'm gonna keep good faith in you to not be spoilery, please. And join the Discord server as well. It's a good place for updates and announcements, to hang out with the rest of us generally. And I really enjoyed Resident Evil 4. Like, you guys know I've played... Well, you don't know, you haven't seen me do it, but I've played / watched Resident Evil 7 Biohazard and 8 Village, but never one to do with Leon. And I don't know why. I just didn't have that like connection, or like, oh, I really want to have a look at this for these Resident Evils. But it was a lot of fun. Like everything was really cool. The graphics, the gameplay, the characters, the gunplay, the enemies, the protagonists, antagonists. It was the chickens who are standing there, and the farm animals who helped me once to kill the villagers. But it's a solid game, and I feel like I've repeated myself so many times, but I've got to nail it down just in case no one's ever heard it me say it before. Is that it's way more than a graphical update, because you know but many, you know, developers or studios release games under the heading of remake, right? And it's just a graphical update. Nothing has changed except for making it look a bit prettier. But with this, it just seemed, I have no base of comparison because I haven't played the original Resident Evil 4, but it just seemed more fleshed out. It seemed like it was adapted to now's time, you know, with a lush big amount of content. It had the depth, it had the breadth, and it felt good to play in terms of sitting and listening to a story, but also as a gamer as well, in the mechanics of it and how nice it felt to, let's say, you know, aim or shoot the different weapons. Although I had to get used to a bit of the bullet travel with hitting the targets. That pissed me off. and to that point as well, I also have to do the final practice range as well, which I'm probably going to get some practice. I'm going to record myself trying to S tier, get all the medallions on that. So there's a couple things on the list to do. And obviously, like I've said, the Mercenaries mode. Maybe I'll put them both into one episode. Maybe they'll be side by side. We'll have to see. And just checking my notes here in case I haven't missed anything. Oh yeah, and it's a good thing that I'm taking this kind of mini. It's not a break because I'm still going to be pumping out shorts, contents, and clips and whatnot. But it's also a good time for anyone who needs to catch up, because I understand life can be busy and things get in the way. If anyone would want to catch up to the episodes and to the end, they have a chance to do that in the coming, I'm not sure how long, maybe a couple of days to a week, depending on how many clips there are I'm going to make. I don't want to release them all in one day because that's just going to oversaturate things, but maybe a couple a day or one a day, we'll have to see. And also, I know that it's like we've almost surpassed this over now twice. I hit 100 subscribers, which is amazing. So I want to do a bit of a, nothing too special or spectacular, but a bit of a nice little thank you video just for appreciation for that, because it is very, very kind of all of you to be here and to be supporting this. So I definitely want to do that, but in its own thing, not just, you know, I'm recording this now and like, hey, by the way, thanks for 100. Yeah, no, it's got to be its own thing. I've got to give you that respect. However, also one more thing, right? Okay, so here's what it was. Unlock by destroying all Clockwork Castellans, which was the little doll things. When I get back to doing professional mode, hopefully I can unlock that. But so these weapons, like, get a high rank on professional mode or on professional mode without using any bonus weapons. I'll have to research that because I don't know what bonus weapons means. Does that mean, like, don't buy anything from the merchant, but you can still pick up the items you get from throughout the story, such as getting the assault rifle? No idea. We'll have to see though. And then I think I missed the jacket. I missed the jacket. So I'm gonna wear the jacket, and then we'll have Ashley's original look as well with her jacket too. But I think it's gonna be fun. When that time comes, it's definitely gonna be fun. However, without stretching this out for way too long, one more thing, because I was just looking at the investigation board. I always keep it on the side. Hunter, right? I thought, remember when we were in the sewers and we fought the doctor, who was this horrible xenomorph looking fella? I thought that was initially Hunter, but then we found notes about him testing out on the housekeeper, then testing it out on himself. We killed him, but I never saw the housekeeper, or at least I don't think I did. Because the housekeeper was willing to have tests done on them with the black ichor and crap like that, so you see how I have Hunter and Doc. I crossed out Doc because I thought the Doc is the Doc. But I think that Hunter was the Doc. I feel like they were the same person. Because now that I remember them, they did have kind of a similar face. It's just that I believe I saw the red cloak on him, which threw me off, but they had like the same weird jaw thing and like the structure of them as well. So if anyone knows that, clear it out for me. Although I may just look online and research it myself. However, I think they may be both the same I thought I killed Doc. The next one I was going to kill is Hunter, which is the right hand creature of was it Ramon or Sadler, one of them? But we'll have to see. And once again, rip to... Oops, hit my microphone. Rip to... Oh my god, I keep on hitting my mic. Rip to the pilot. Mike, speaking of Mike. Man, I'm gonna miss that guy. Like, that sucks. I thought it was gonna be, you know, you saw the helicopter explosion and you don't see anything else. And Mike suddenly appears like, hey, I'm fine. But I think he really did die because we heard nothing of him afterwards. The closest thing we got to him was the helicopter pilot that Ada was with, but that's only because he was wearing the same headgear, goggles and mask. But I think that's just standard for helicopter pilots. But thanks, Mike, for giving away your life. You was a good lad. And now, so let's not stretch it out. Spent a good 15-ish minutes on this, which should be the length of it. I'm gonna leave it there, and we'll pick it back up whenever the next case opens. Again, YouTube community posts, I'll smack something on there. Discord server updates, I'll smack something on there, just to let you know what the next case is. If not, just wait until the next video upload comes and see the next case. It can be a surprise if you want it that way. However, we will leave it there as the Resident Evil 4, the remake, case closed and done. Hope we'll come back to the professional story mode. We'll do the mercenaries, sure, but definitely want to try the hardest difficulty on this and cry inside. Anyways, I'll see you next time then, but until then, keep your eyes open for it. Take care.